got the Steve Harvey.
Yeah,
it was like perfectly.
His
throw looked like this.
When I get out the chair, get your microphone.
My bad. All right. Well, we gonna start the. On that note, we gonna start the show for this week. Let's hit the intro music.
Hit him hard, let's go. Red T-E-C-K, running back like where's my replay? Got it all in the mix, no DJs. Said it's hard in the game like he did. Mr. Lady, it's spitting real talk for the entertainment. All the podcasts stand the game up and they get smacked back down like a WrestleMania. Tell them that they better get their nose ready at a home city, you know, get a boss keeping on the low setting. And you know what you say, so we never gotta get tight than everybody else. They should get ready. Ain't nobody else doing this like I. Better keep them cameras and microphones hot, cause this one's a vibe. Gotta run this race with my tribe. Going live with the pie. Do it like there's no tomorrow. Came to my ear later. Shout out to my point guard. We about to hit them hard. Got them throwing in the tap. Tell the red blow the whistle. This is technical foul.
Welcome to episode 384 of Technical Foul, the sports podcast you never knew you needed. And it's your boy, Mr. Pitsy. That man's been chill quiz. How y'all doing today?
Oh shit!
I am the Eric J.
Only known as
The Eric J.
And I'm Camille, point guard of the crew, the real life Tifa Lockhart, girl next door. Hold it down for all the women who love sports.
And it's your boy K Harris, the gentleman,
The gentleman,
the everyday gentleman,
24/7,
but better known as Mr. Ooh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, y'all. Some housekeeping before we get into the game that needs a name and the topics of the week. If you are not yet following us on our various social media platforms, what you waiting for? Come on and join us at Technical Foul, TECKNICALFOUL on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky. Technical Foul Podcast, all spelled out on YouTube and Facebook. On the YouTube
You
side
write the
of things,
whole word like this.
on the YouTube side of things, make sure you hit that notification bell so you can be notified when we go live. Like tonight, every Tuesday evening we record the show, so make sure that you are notified so you can join us live.
Yeah, to go live even surprised me this week. I wasn't even prepared. You got the truncated version of the tweet this week. I just hit send.
Right, so I'm about to hit that retweet button. So yeah, that's the general slate of the week. Oh, and let me just start getting used to saying this too. If you want some Tech File merch, hit the link in our description in our bio. It's there. Go ahead and get y'all some merch.
Do that.
I'm just gonna do this live on the air. I was thinking about, we got 8 years coming up, 8-year anniversary next month.
Damn.
We run back some retro Tech File shirts.
Oh, that'd be dope. Okay.
Yeah, because I definitely need one. My favorite one was the white one with just the little word mark on the.
Oh yeah.
I messed my shirt up, and I'm
8 years.
Dude, I set up 1 million of those. You can just come grab them from the But we'll put them up on the site so you can order them because I do not deliver.
That part. All right. So game needs a name. So this week for the game that needs a name, our topic is just going to be MLB baseball teams.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you weren't here when we made that decision. So in case you're unfamiliar with the game that needs a name, it is a rapid fire memory based game where we choose a topic, as we just said, MLB baseball teams. The last person remaining wins. There are no repeats, and you get about 5 seconds to answer. So last person standing wins. Let's go in tech order. So Tim, Eric, myself, then Ken. MLB baseball teams. Let's get it.
Seattle Mariners.
Milwaukee Brewers.
The Cubs.
Boston Red Sox.
Braves.
The White Sox.
The Astros.
St. Louis Cardinals. My bad.
Yankees.
Arizona Diamondbacks.
God dang it. The Dodgers.
The Mets.
The Angels.
Tampa Bay Rays.
The Royals.
I'm up.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati Reds.
San Francisco Giants.
The Marlins.
Oh, you snuck that one.
Don't know how that one came to mind.
Giant. San Francisco.
I said that.
He said
out
that.
there.
Los Padres.
The A's.
He said that.
God
Oh,
dang
see?
it.
Yeah, it's hard because I kept trying to think about what everybody else was saying. So
Yep.
it just
I
threw
missed
me
the
off.
A's.
And that was kind of part of my reason for.
Giannis 3?
Hey,
Hope you took the over on his prize picks. You know it's 0.5. A devil face.
typically, like game needs a name. Like the difficulty is like just keep going, and you have so many options to choose from. But when it's on you only have a certain amount. You really got to pay attention to what's been said already.
That's very true. Because I definitely was sitting there trying to think of teams too, and I was like, like I pulled the Marlins out of I don't even know where the Marlins. I haven't thought about the Marlins. I was trying to think of MLB The Show, which I ain't played in like 4 years, and I was like, that's a game I get like every couple of years because it's year to year. It's not enough change for me. But anyways, let's get into the topics.
It's not enough.
Sorry, always time for a Kendrick break. But let's get into the show for the week. We're gonna start with NBA. Hit a quick note in NFL and then finish with wrestling. And as we start with the NBA, this was no one's topic, but what did y'all think of the Pistons Wolves brawl? Because we ain't seen a good old fisticuffs in some time.
The presence of Isaiah Stewart always makes it an inevitability. So I wasn't surprised when I saw a brawl involving Pistons and Isaiah Stewart was prominently involved.
And then Ron Holland was the one who started it. And if you've watched the Pistons, that rookie, he's been waiting to fight somebody.
But the whole team, it looked like the team has been waiting.
They have like adopted that identity of just like
Bad Boys 2.0 or 3.0.
Pretty much. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. The suspensions weren't crazy either.
Yeah, Isaiah Stewart's the only nigga with a fight mixtape. Like, I honestly don't really know his player profile. Like, all I know is he be fighting.
What else does he do?
I think it was interesting, but at the same time, it was like, oh, people like Malice in the Palace 2.0. Like, no, it was not that. But the fact that they was actually swinging.
That's somebody that was born in 2004. They
Exactly.
said like you had to have not existed.
Seen that. Yeah.
But,
all I know is that if I was front row and they fell in my lap, they would have to put me on the stretcher. I would have been, oh, my neck, my back. I would have been laid the hell out, fam. They definitely would have to put me on the stretcher, fam.
The funniest part, like seeing Dante yoking up Ron Holland, and then he kind of sitting in the front row still, and he's out of it at this point.
Everybody trying to grab at him.
If you look closely, they grabbing that. Nas Reed is on the ground, and there's a whole bunch of Pistons still moving their hands and doing this, and that's when you see Dante get up and just kind of push the pile again because he's like, my teammate's still down here, like y'all got to move. And I was like,
yeah, people forget Dante essentially from Philly.
Right.
And they stayed in Milwaukee for a while.
Now he wasn't in Milwaukee like when Steven Jackson was in Milwaukee, but
he was in the streets.
Hey, Steven.
He was in the streets, boy.
That man was probably up at Texture and all kinds of places.
He was in the streets. Wasn't
he the one who was outside in the beater in the wintertime?
Yeah.
I thought so. Yep.
Nigga.
But Marquise Daniels, man.
Man, we used to have some nigga good.
Whoop, some real ones. You ain't want to. Then they got rid of Steven because it's like he's a bad influence on Brandon Jennings. Like, man, listen.
A bad influence.
That was the first thing with niggas with a hard Z like that.
But the discipline that came in from that Pistons Wolves scuffles, Isaiah Stewart beef stew. He got 2 games, the most of anyone. Dante, Ron Holland, Nas Reed, and Marcus Sazzer all got 1 game. Even though some coaches got kicked out in real time, none of them got suspensions or anything like that. So just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, Beef Stew got that because he's an habitual line stepper.
Like, dog is really trying to. I don't know what's the point. Like, what's the point?
They said ain't no one gonna mess with us, and we gonna have each other's backs.
They're slated to play each other right now. Yeah, I really want a Pistons Pacers series because I want to see Isaiah Stewart try that shit when James Johnson's on the other sideline.
I mean, they already got a little scrappy the last time they played with each other, and that's when I think it was Isaiah Stewart told Miles Turner, like, you ain't like that, you play with Legos.
You play with Legos.
Like, get out of here, you play with Legos. I ain't trying to hear that. Here I go, hey!
Nothing wrong with some Legos.
I catch a straight.
What's wrong with Legos? But no, I don't want that to be the first round series because then that would mean the Bucks got the Knicks, and I mean, it don't matter.
Damn.
Damn.
It doesn't at this point.
Why doesn't it matter? Why don't we just get into it? Why does it not matter to you then?
So I've been watching the Bucks all season. I've been watching the Bucks my entire life essentially, but I've been watching them this entire season. Like, I don't get too high with the wins. I don't get too low with the losses. Like, it really just doesn't. It's true, but like it's a change from the last couple of years where they lose and I'm frustrated for at least 24 hours. They win, I'm like, yeah, it's a good night. I've just been trying to figure out like why it doesn't hit the same, and I've come to realize it's because this isn't the team that I, for lack of a better term, fell in love with. Like, I don't know these things. Like, it doesn't feel so much like the Bucks anymore. It's just like dudes hooping in Bucks jerseys. Because, like, if you look at the turnover in the last 2 years, like, it's Giannis, ridiculous. Brooks, Bobby, who hasn't been here for the last couple months, Pat, who doesn't play anymore. And that's pretty much it. And it isn't that they're not. It isn't solely because they're not contenders anymore. Like, I think that's part of it, where it's just like, they're playing, but I don't expect much from it. So I'm not like watching it with a fine tooth comb. Like, oh, is this going to translate to the playoffs? Can this guy step up? Like, what defense are they running? Can that, how does that match up with the Knicks or the Pacers or the Pistons or whoever? Like, they may play in the first round. Like, I just don't care, because it's like, what's the point? Really?
No.
But beyond that, like, it's more so like I don't have an emotional investment in this team, because like I don't know these guys. Like, I knew Chris, I knew, but
they were new at some point too.
They were,
and
but
then,
like
and then
we saw them
continuously
go through everything together. Whereas none of these guys, I have faith, are going to be here 3 years from now.
Not even AJ Green.
Not even AJ Green. And I think that that's part of also the NBA's problem, where they've incentivized it to where players are going to be rotating through teams on a yearly basis, because teams can't sign guys to 3-4 year contracts anymore without it being like, I don't know how this is going to age, or like we bump up against the cap, in this year or whatever. Like, the long-term planning that the NBA used to be able to employ, like, is really gone for the most part, unless you're at the top echelon. Even that's not even true, because Luka just got traded. Like, you can't really bank on anybody being there for a long time.
Well, let me ask you this, because when we met each other, the Bucks were not good, and we bonded over just having a love for the team. They were bad. We traded for Monte Ellis, and we sitting here like, oh, this is gonna change our fortunes. Like, how can this Brandon Jennings, Monte Ellis backcourt be? Let me get there. And you were, it ain't gonna work. They too little. Ain't enough defense. And I was like, no, man, like, I can see it. And he was like, it ain't gonna work. But you were still invested in that team. They were a bad team, and there was a lot of roster turnover going on. So what's different about that team then and this team now? Both are kind of in a state of flux where they're trying to figure out what the next edition of the team is going to look like.
I think the lack of hope.
For me, in that instance, with that question of what's the difference, is that team, like you said, lack of hope, but it's more so like we had, okay, this could be a turning point for us as a franchise to get better. Now we're looking at guys like Monte Ellis. That's why we were so excited about it, because it was like, before it was like, they might not necessarily be in the realm of the Bucks. Why would we get a player like that, or something to that extent? Or then it was like, okay, if we can get a player like Monte, then maybe we could take another step and get a different type of player, a better player, something like that. Like, it was more of a, like you said, hope that the franchise is now taking steps in a better direction. Right now, it's literally the inverse. The franchise is going to just slowly take steps in the opposite direction because of the fact that they got they're getting older. Like, and we don't have that continuity or anything like that. So we're gonna have to start learning. We might have to start learning a bad team.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that team's going in cycles, right? And I was gonna say, I see Dustin in the comments just saying, I'm depressed with the state of the Bucks. I get it. And he added, but I do love them. And I see Nurgle Order is checking in. Shout out to y'all.
What's going on?
Yo,
checking in.
Yo.
What it do?
And for me, I've had a debate in the group chat that I'm in with a friend who said the Bucks should blow it up. Just blow it up. He said trade everybody. He meant he said and literally Giannis, everybody. And I said I'm not willing to do that at this point, because I still think that Giannis is good enough where if he is on your team, your window is still open, because he by himself can hold it open. There is so much more parity in the league, in the sense of an injury or two can change the fortunes of a lot of franchises going forward, and you never know how a playoff run is going to be. Just try to be healthy playing good ball when you get to the playoffs and see what can happen. Now, this year's version of the team, let me be very clear. Without Damian Lillard, the ceiling just ain't that high because this team was constructed to be built around the two of them. Now, if the Bucks in the offseason say, hey, we're going to go a completely different route, I don't think anybody should be untouchable except for Giannis, because I do remember those days before we had it's hard to get a superstar. Mm-hmm. And I think people forget what it was like to try to get people to even come to Milwaukee before they had something to entice them to come to the city, i.e. Giannis. Like, we were paying Drew Gooden big bucks. Big bucks to
he was
come
the free
here.
agent get.
I'm saying
Bobby Simmons.
There was a summer when
so many.
Matthew Dellavedova was our big free agency splash.
John Salmons.
Like,
John Salmons.
A bucket. I don't care.
Hey, I fuck with John
In
Salmons.
that first half of the year when we had him, I was like, hey, this is going to be something.
Joe Smith.
The next year was like,
We had Joe Smith with the fro, too.
It was past the Joe Smith.
More like no Smith. Backtracking where you said, like, when you have Giannis on your team, you always got shit. They are really testing that theory this year because
this year is kind of like it's a rough go because how they envisioned it post trade deadline is not coming to fruition because no one expected Dame to get a blood clot.
And like I hear you with all that, and like I was trying to separate it out from just like they're not as good anymore, so like I don't care anymore. That's not really what it is. It's like even if they were to go on a run, like maybe it changes when they're on that run, and like I latch onto something. But as I currently feel, if they were to win a championship, it'd be like, great, we won a championship. I'm happy. I'm a Bucks fan, but it's not like I'm happy for this guy because I've seen like from point A to point B to C to Z or whatever. Like there just isn't like that emotional attachment. It's like Kyle Kuzma. I don't know him.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean? Like it's just the emotional part of the fandom for me is lacking for this team, and I've like I said, I've been trying to pinpoint it because it's like I was gone last week, and I was like, like I didn't really keep up with what happened. Like I know what happened, but I wasn't like, okay, well they're on a 4-game losing streak now, like ho hum. Like it was just like there wasn't like that emotional part as a fan, which like I think is a big part of it, and it's like there's no connection to the city. Like I don't really see them out and about. Like the investment in the community isn't really there from what I've seen, or at least they don't make a big enough show about it. Like I remember they used to do like the I don't remember what it was called, but it was basically like the behind the scenes like YouTube videos that they did.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big part of learning who these guys were because you got to see them interact like in a less formal setting. Like
they haven't done that.
It's just like
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I did enjoy that YouTube series, but I think part of it, to be honest with you, was just that there's a lot of change this year. Like when you trade away a Chris Middleton, even with the injuries and seeing like he can't move laterally no more. I understand people what Chris Middleton's limitations are at this point. I get it. Okay. I'll still argue that there's this role for him that could have been useful. But that's neither here nor there.
I think they'd still be a better team if they had
I think there's an argument for it. But the point that I'm making here is like that's an emotion. That's a breakup. Like that's heavy to hold when it's like Giannis and Chris grew up together, which Dustin had a comment of just saying Chris and Giannis grew up together and it was a journey together, which was awesome. Like we got attached to that journey. And it was a long one with the two of them here. And it's over. It's over. And the real of it is that this summer, Brooke could be gone. Pat Connaughton, a lot of the guys who won that championship could be gone. Now you're starting over. So the question is just around like how much time do you have to invest into whatever the new edition of the Bucks are going to be as it continues to roll over. And Nurable Order's point here, I feel like people tend to forget that because of how good we've been. And I wholeheartedly agree. And people who don't watch a lot of NBA basketball as a whole and don't see the different phases that certain teams are in or how long they've been in phases where you're watching the game, you're like, man, they bad. Like,
I'm glad we got back here because I do want to co-sign your point where it's like, no, Giannis is here as long as Giannis wants to be here. Like, I do not want to go. Like, I'm not going to accelerate that point to where like you go back to whatever because one, like, they don't have picks for like the next
until 2031. So
for eternity basically. So it's like we are in for some pain whatever happens. So like no, I want to prolong that. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's this iteration and it's the prolonged kind of like collapse of that championship core where it's like basically like the last 2 years where it's
maybe
like,
they didn't blow that core up in its entirety, so you can kind of be like, okay, it's a reset. I understand that now instead of seeing as our friend your cousin says, AJ. a slow death of the team that we previously knew. So I can get that. I think there's the emotions involved, and they haven't been playing good ball. They've been maddeningly inconsistent throughout this season with execution and just
like the games aren't even fun to watch. Like you get fits and starts, but like there are prolonged periods of just like, have you guys met each other before? like they raced out to a big lead and it was a 1-point game.
I'll tell you this one thing though about this current NBA landscape. Big leads don't really mean too much, and that's not even a Bucks critique. I just remember like it was machine like before, and them days was special when they were here, and now they gone. And the dude who led us there is on the other sideline tonight. So it was fitting to have this conversation tonight because I do feel like that was kind of like the jumping off point for me, where it was like we became just another franchise to me at that point because like. And like maybe this is just me projecting stuff onto the franchise, but it's like I felt like they did them dirty when they fired him the way they did in that moment. It's like that's kind of shitty to the extenuating circumstance. And then like one of the greatest dudes in the league by reputation, Drew Holiday, you just kind of trade him like he's just another dude. Like it was that kind of turnover where it's like I don't know. It changed things for me, and it's been a slow continuation of that over years, culminating with Chris getting just salary dumped essentially. I mean, I get it. I was a Jordan fan growing up. I think that's pretty common knowledge now. That's what got me into basketball. I watched the Chicago Bulls. I was watching WGN broadcasts on our big old school TV, the TV that was like 3 feet wide with the wood, TVs. But the screen was only about
as big as this iPad.
a foot big, but the whole thing's like 3 feet. Like watching Bulls games on that and whatnot. And then when Jordan retired from me, football became my
First
sport.
Time or second time?
The second time. When he was off the ball after the second three-peat. Then football became like my thing. And then the Sam Cassell, Ray Allen, Big Dog, Bucks drew me back in. And then football took back over again. And then it was actually them bad Bucks teams that really like solidified I'm truly a Bucks fan for me. Mm-hmm. Like them lean years after the Fear the Deer year with Brandon Jennings, because that was kind of like cool, but I didn't really get on board
in the desert.
I didn't really get on board until that days was already gone. But I can get it. Different iterations of teams have different feelings, and maybe this just ain't your particular iteration. They gotta earn it back at somehow, some way. But someone who I thought would earn at least a job through the end of the playoffs. Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Jack it all on the mic. Shallow in the chat. What's up, brother? Yes, we got a full house this evening. What is good? Better than a poker hand. That's why you do the thing. We got the bars. You get the bars, man. The creativity. Taylor Jenkins fired in Memphis.
Yeah.
9 games before the playoffs began.
That's crazy. That's madness.
Do y'all think that the Grizzlies made the right decision in firing Taylor Jenkins? Or let me start here. Were you surprised?
Hell yeah.
That the Grizzlies fired Taylor Jenkins? I want to start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, like you just said, 9 days before the playoffs. Like, how can you make that major of a move that literally turns like the entire roster upside down? Like how? Like it doesn't make sense. Like they necessarily like you. I feel like especially like losing your head coach, that throws away like all the momentum, all the chemistry, like everything that you built up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was bad momentum and bad chemistry, like maybe
I don't know. It don't sit right with me. 9 days before the playoffs to get
9 games.
Coach. 9 games. My bad. Yeah. 9 games before the playoffs.
The timing of it was the shocking part, and my initial reaction was I didn't know it was fire the coach right before the playoffs. Bad. Like I knew I had heard the rumbles of just things weren't earling right in Memphis, but to fire your coach right before the playoffs. And to see the basic senses coming out of it, it's just like, we figured we were dead on arrival anyways. It don't really matter. We might as well rip this Band-Aid off. So let me ask you, Tim, with the Grizzlies making this move, and part of why they made it, like I said, they said, we ain't going to go nowhere no ways. We might as well just do it now. The new offense wasn't working. Taylor Jenkins was in a bad spot already because going into this season, they made him fire all 5 of his assistant coaches to replace them with assistant coaches that they wanted.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like players kind of already knew themselves what was on the writings on the wall here of like what could happen if things don't go well.
Mm-hmm.
The Grizzlies have underperformed against winning teams. Their new offense was cool, but when they played good teams, it didn't work.
Okay.
Ja Morant was getting unhappy with the offense. Understanding that, and to Eric's point, I'm saying if the momentum is bad, go ahead and do it. And Ken's sitting here like, I get that, but still, it's 9 games before the playoffs. Like,
And they're on a 3-game losing streak currently.
well, they've been on a losing, not a
3-7 in the last 10.
Yeah, I was like, it hasn't been good for a couple weeks now, and they've been consistently not performing against better teams. So, like, in your opinion, would you have made this move, you the GM? I'm just like,
No, I still wouldn't. Like, no, bro. Like, it's one of those things, kind of like when you play in a game and people quit at the end of the game.
on 2K.
Just finish it. You right there. Like, firing a coach 9 games before the season ends, right before the playoffs. I don't feel like it sends a good message, regardless. Because no matter what, like, as a franchise, and kind of same line with the Bucks, is like people still value professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
That is
For you to fire your coach 9 games, like Ken got me over here to my days and shit. 9 games before the season ends, I don't feel like sends a good message to anybody in the organization, really. And then the players getting paid to perform and getting paid to fight for a chip.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're telling them, well, shit, we ain't had no faith in y'all anyways. Is if we're ripping the Band-Aid off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that says, like, throughout the entire organization, that just sends an entire message. And maybe that's what they wanted to feel, of disappointment. Of, this ain't it. This ain't going to work. I don't give a shit what y'all got going on this season. We done with this. We going to just roll into the off season and figure it out next season. If that was the intended message, message sent to the league. That was a loud-ass breakup out of nowhere for at least people that weren't paying too much attention to it.
Yeah, that part of it.
You also have teams kind of like the Bucks with firing of Adrian Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people outside the organization didn't realize it, but we who was watching them all the time, like, dog, this ain't gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
And that was gonna be my point. It was like, I've learned that, you know, the people that watch it, I'm gonna defer to them. Like, they're not always right, because there were people calling for Buzzhead, which they were validated, but it's like, not validated, but like they were valid in their opinion, where it's like, if they disagree with it, that's their prerogative. But like, overwhelmingly, I think that, you know, like, I'm gonna defer to the people that have to watch that team on a night-to-night basis, and they seem to have been fed up with it and been ready to move on for a while. So it's like, I don't watch the Grizzlies enough to know, so I'm gonna defer to that. Also, like, not only did it remind me of that Milwaukee firing, it reminded me of Ned Yost when he was the Brewers manager. They fired him like a week before the playoffs. Yeah. Like, granted, they didn't win anything after that, but it was like, sometimes you just reach a point where it's like, he got to go, and whether that's, they reach a point where it's like, he got to go, and whether that's at the end of the season or mid-season or whatever, it's like they reached the tipping point for whatever reason. And so it's like, I personally would have done it with the information that I have, but I'm acknowledging that I don't have enough information to make that determination. Essentially.
That's fair. I see Serial Sensei said, if you get fired right before the playoffs, something tells me you earned it. And Sly added in the comments that messing up the locker room right before the playoffs is just stupid.
I agree.
But if the locker room quit on him, then maybe that is like the galvanizing effect that brings them together.
Man, go down together then.
That's what I'm saying.
Like for real. It was like
I mean, I'm sure you're going to have a boss that you hated, and like your job performance probably picked up after that.
All right, no.
Oh, hell yeah.
Or it would have picked up had they been fired at a certain point. Like, whether it's like right before a big project comes together or not, like, you like, yeah, get his ass out of here. Great. Now we can really do what we want to do.
Get him out of here.
Or when they just on vacation.
I mean, when bosses be on vacation, or nobody really works.
Oh, no, we get shit done.
Oh, so you saying it's
actually work better
in the
past ain't bothering you and shit. Watch out. Present tense, shit.
I was trying to save you.
Trying to help you.
I'm helping myself.
He don't give a damn. That's what he's saying.
I'm talking to you, Todd.
Hey, he gonna pop in. Oh, so that's what you're talking about.
No, it's always it can be hit or miss.
Phil know what he did.
Right. Like, it can be hit or miss depending on, like you said, it it could be a galvanizing effect where like, okay, we're gonna do this for coach, but I doubt it. I doubt that's the.
I meant more so like fuck coach for what they,
like you said,
they felt like at the time, like, and now it's like, oh, coach gone, like, yeah, now we can do what we want to do.
Right, and that's only maybe it's just an in spite of thing too. Like it could definitely be now that we're gonna do what we want to do. Whatever interim coach, hey, you heard what we were saying. Yeah. We was talking to you. You already know what's good. So let me just go ahead and season done anyways. Let me go ahead and do this.
No,
I'm glad we see because you know exactly
the book bag in the way, so I can't see the comments.
Oh man.
No, I was watching the Bucks for a second here, and this game. Never mind. No, I get the point with Taylor Jenkins. I just think the timing of it was still like, if it's not working, y'all set him up to be a lame duck anyways. Like, let him at least see what he can do. Because let's keep in mind, oh my God, he has done this with Ja Morant only at playing like 40, 45 games so far this year. There were different injuries, and he was trying to combine 2 offenses from 2 assistants that he didn't hire. Like, it again, writing was kind of on the wall with that one. But
and it's kind of unfair. Again, I don't watch them enough to know, but like with Ja basically missing all of last year and even going back to the year before where he was doing all the gun shit, like, he hasn't really gotten a fair shake to get the full complement of players, which it's the NBA. You're never really going to get that. But
he had his whole roster.
It's kind of tough. Like the curse season that they had last year, it's like you should kind of get a free pass for that. And for them to have fired his whole assistant coaching staff,
make it work.
After that, it's like,
like Smokey Mama, this ain't enough. Make it enough.
Yeah, they was fighting for number 2 in the West before he was fired.
I mean, it was like four, but it's all bunched up 2 through 4. Which
they still in the conversation.
They
right there.
They were technically they were in the conversation still, but another team that's in that conversation is the LA Lakers. It is time for our weekly segment of how the Lakers been. Wait, Ken, we need to get like a drop just for this.
I was just gonna say he needs some music.
We gonna make something up. How the Lakers been. Wait, Ken, it has to be. Whenever I think Lakers, for some reason, the image that pops into my head is that one Lakers fan from like the 80s who had the silk shirt. It was kind of open. He's going like, Lakers. It's like that white dude. Always pops into my head. When I think Lakers, that's what I think.
I think about that. Price is Right always pop in my head when
how
the Lakers been with Ken. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, the Price is Right.
No, I just meant the team, not the segment. The Lakers team. When I hear Lakers, that man pops into my head all the time. And as we get into that, I see Marcus in the comments saying, hey, y'all, all 4 of you, big hugs. Yeah. Appreciate it, Marcus.
Wait, when was the last time we were all 4 together? Like, that's the same
It's been a while, especially in the studio.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a while.
98.
He said, there's been a lot of comments about this tonight.
Actually, I damn near want to say it's been about almost a month.
Yeah, at least.
Well, because we did that other thing when we were all together, so that's why I don't feel as long.
Yes.
Pause.
There. Anyway, how the Lakers been with Ken?
Oh, okay. So, on the good news,
we got new segments and shit. I really ain't been hearing.
Y'all got
but like
coach.
Yeah, JJ is doing his thing, But Lakers, we're in good shape. We had a huge win last night against Houston.
That was a good game.
It really was. Defense was top tier.
That's a fact.
If we go into the playoffs with defense like this, like, we'll be in really good shape. Again, LeBron is not showing any signs of slowing down, and that is still crazy to me.
It's interesting how that happens after he takes time off.
Hey, do what you gotta do. Fake an injury, I don't give a damn. As long as you're ready.
Every time he goes on PTO, he come back refreshed.
Hey, I need whatever you gotta do, fam. Do what you do.
Allegedly.
Hey, man. But no, we're in a really good shape. Our big 3 has been playing strong. Luka,
who's the third?
Reeves.
Look at the numbers. That nigga's
Reeves has been a monster as a number 3.
He definitely is a big 3. And Luka has stepped it up, being more of a vocal leader. He was actually telling what was the guy, Dorian Finney
Smith.
Finney-Smith, telling him to shoot more. Because he's been shooting well, but he's hesitant. Yeah, exactly. But he's been
him and Vincent.
Yeah, Vincent.
They both had like 6 threes last night.
Yeah, exactly. So again, it was great to see Vincent actually get involved in the offense.
Vincent a sharpshooter.
Yeah, exactly. I'm loving it, man. So like all cylinders are rolling right now. We're going into the playoffs, with a good head of steam. if we continue to play this way, especially defensive wise, like it's gonna be a long night for whoever plays us in the playoffs. So I'm excited. I'm ready.
The show say Lakers have a big 2.5. What is
2+.
Dog, do not look. Go Google the stats, fam. No disrespect.
He's a third option. He's a very good third option. That don't make you a big three.
Big three. Fam.
I think he's been averaging like 22, 23.
That don't make you a big three.
That's the third option.
What is it?
Big three is stars. Like I don't think Austin Reeves is a star. Like he's a great.
I think that is fair.
He's our big three.
I think Eric's point is fair.
Is he a semi-star?
Not yet.
I think you gotta be an all-star to at least be called a star. I don't think that's a low bar to clear.
I think that's.
I don't think that's a high bar.
I just don't feel that right caping for the white man, so I'm gonna stop.
I'll say this though. I think Eric's point is well taken. Like not necessarily a big three, it's a duo, but the third guy
it's good.
Who is tasked to be, initiating offense, scoring points. It's Reeves. And to Ken's point, if you ask JJ Redick, he consider the three of them together is what he always talks about. Like before they had
that's our engine.
I forget who y'all played this weekend before the Rockets, but before that game, like I saw a report that JJ Redick had pulled those three into his office and had a conversation with them. Like the three of you, it's y'all who are tasked with like really keeping this together. I'm leaning on the three of you. So like I get why to you you're just saying big three. It's common.
And I watch every single game.
It's also common NBA lingo of just saying like the three best players. That's the big three on this particular team. But that's an interesting conversation. Let us know in the comments.
AR-15.
What makes a big three, and if you think the Lakers have a big three. I think that's an interesting. We ain't got to do that. There you go. Yeah, pick on them. We already heard.
I still disagree. Anyway.
You think the top three for the Bucks are better than the top three for the Lakers?
Stop it.
No, I don't.
I
think their third option is better than your third option.
Cools?
No, the Memphis. You said Memphis.
Oh,
right?
I thought you back to Milwaukee.
Hell no.
I was like, I like Kuz, but now you being ridiculous.
No, that was gonna be my example where it's like, yeah, he the third option on that team. That don't make it a big three.
That's fair because I've said the Bucks do not have a big three. It is a duo with Dame and Giannis, and then they got
a bunch of role players. And honestly, I probably wouldn't put it. I was gonna say Brook would probably be closer to
before you get there, but I still wouldn't say it's a big three. That's just the
big Brook.
Happy birthday, Brooke. Yeah. The man turned 37 today as we record.
He looking too.
Welcome to the club.
He look every bit of that 37.
He already.
We'll look.
That nigga playing 35 minutes tonight in the NBA.
Hey man, he be out there balling.
My knees hurt when I've been down too long getting the pot out the cab.
It hurt to walk.
I started working out, nigga. I damn near had to put ice on both my knees. I was like, shit. Had me on it. I was doing the Stairmaster. I was like, man, what the fuck?
That Stairmaster ain't no joke.
Man, ain't no joke, fam.
It ain't no
my Achilles.
I really feel the lack of lubrication in my knees. Like it just be it's squeaky. It's
just lack of lubrication.
The elasticity is gone. Like it just.
Damn, dog.
You about to kill.
Right.
That is hilarious, dog.
Hey, someone write down lubrication in the
that can't be the title.
No, it might be. It just might be.
Maybe just lubrication.
I try to stay active, bro. Like,
oh, that is hilarious. My knees ain't lubricated.
I kind of felt bad, like my knee gonna lock up and shit. Like,
man.
My ankle crack every time I do it in a circle. It's wild.
Oh no, my knee been hurting for the last week. Like I was playing basketball last week, and
the fact that you can still play basketball is a blessing.
Didn't you take a screen? You said that messed you up for the
So
whole
I was trying
game?
to take a screen.
He
was on my hip, so I did a fake out, came back across, and as I was coming in, he stepped in front, and we both banged knees at the same time.
I would have been done. I'm like, I quit.
Hey, I got to work the next day. I was like, God damn. I'm over to the sideline and shit. I'm sitting on the side holding my legs.
How you get hurt, bro? You can't explain that to your job.
No, wait. Basketball. So then one of the people at work came in the next day in a sling. Oh, like, what happened to you? He's like, playing basketball last night. They was like, you sit your old asses down. We trying to stay in shape. Shit. Damn.
Try to take a walking.
Right. That's what I do. I'm a walking Tim's put up to me in the summer. He was like, I know you go on your walks this time of the day.
You be
go
doing the brisk walk. What you doing?
But they be moving
All shoulders.
Hey, it's some good
Killing
cardio.
that
with the headbands and the wristbands and shit going crazy.
Hey, don't sleep on the walk until you got to get out there and do it.
Hey, man.
Serial Sensei said, Lakers adjacent. How many of y'all watched the more Mind the Game pod with him and Steve Nash? Season 2 has kicked off. The first episode came out today as we record this with Steve Nash in that seat instead of JJ Redick.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to bring it back, but like you said all that, you was talking shit about Brooke. Brooke got the whole spotlight in the halftime for
He's
ball.
5 of 5 from the field. But he was saying Brooke would be the
I
third.
said Brooke would be the third.
Oh,
I just said nigga old. That's all.
what you say? He look all of 37.
He do, though.
Look at his face, man. He like, yeah.
He never really fleet of foot. Like
That is true,
These are
too.
facts.
he is as slow as he was 10 years ago.
No, he's slower than that, which was a low
That's
bar.
right.
But no, I watched the beginning of the first episode of Mind the Game.
You like Steve.
Steve Nash is one of my one of my favorite players of all time. So definitely was watching it, and I didn't even get to them really getting to the basketball part of it yet. The beginning of it was just purely inspirational things that I needed to hear in my life at this particular. Like for real, I put
that's what's up.
like
That's
in
what's
my
up.
journal. I had to stop the podcast. I was cooking food. I stopped. Pulled my phone out, went to my digital journal, and wrote down 3 things I had heard at the beginning of the episode that stood out to me in life and just the journey that I'm currently on. LeBron said this first. He said, being more driven by the process more than the actual ending goal, and then just try to be as great as you can be, squeezing as much juice out of yourself as you can, and doing it because you're doing it for the love of the process and not what it brings. And then Steve Nash added, process over outcome is a process that leads to an outcome. And if you start looking at the outcome, you lose sight of the process. And I had to hear that because I had just was thinking to myself, I was putting together some graphics and stuff for the podcast, and I was like, somebody's going to get about 3 likes anyway. So what's the point? What's the point? And then this nigga LeBron talking about some maximize your greatness. And I was like, dang, nigga, you right.
That nigga 40, so you like,
I was like, yeah, you right. You right,
boss.
You right.
You right, huh?
And then Steve Nash is something that now I'm going to try to aspire to. He said, go to bed feeling great and wake up inspired. So like they were dropping a lot of gems at the beginning that were talking about basketball, but like it applied to just
I like that.
to just life in itself. So I'm looking forward to watching it and actually getting to them breaking down the game itself, which is part of why basketball is so beautiful. In sports in general, just how much you can continue to learn about the sport that you've been watching forever and continuing to be better at it. So definitely paying attention to that. Shylon added, Eric, my eyes getting bad. He be having these one-liners that be having me dying. Eric definitely be having the one-liner. Then can't start laughing, and then it just ramps up. Jay-Z added that Brooke looks like a lawyer.
You like something. You don't like Hooper. You like something.
You said Gruber?
No, I said like a Hooper.
Oh,
that too. Work hard, that's all.
Hey, leave my guy alone. He
Big Groove.
Big Groove.
Just so you know, now at home, that's all.
Big Groove.
No one be saying, if a Gruber commercial come on, he'd be like, Big Groove. And I'm like, all because Tim had one time he saw that nigga out in the street.
Big Groove. He threw the setup. Yeah,
hey, Big Groove. I got one of your t-shirts there.
He came by, chopped it up with his foot, and the wife looking at me like, bro,
like,
why are we here?
Show us some love.
Had to appreciate Milwaukee
have a go.
Show us some love.
Milwaukee royalty, but no. All right. Let's get some. Adam Silver had a presser a couple of days ago. He dropped a couple of interesting gems along the way, I'd have to say.
Yeah. So one of the things that people asked about, or he kind of touched on, was NBA Europe, right? NBA Europe to me, well, Eric, I haven't gotten your opinion on this, but NBA Europe in essence is going to operate just like the European leagues, but they're going to allow them to do the domestic leagues as well. But they're going to have like 16 teams, 12 permanent teams, 4 rotate. So that's kind of soccer-ish, soccer style-ish.
Kind of like, what's it called?
Like the Premier League and stuff.
What's it called in soccer?
Relegation and relegation and promotion. But with that concept, 2 things. When Camille mentioned it to me before, my immediate thought was, Can they play the real? Can they play the champs over here so the United States and the European champs to play each other, figure out the real world champs? This is a discussion that everybody keeps having.
I'd be for it.
I would love to see that, but allowing them, because they have a couple players that are permanent players and allow players in and out of the teams as well. So you'll have a mix of teams, and you'll have some squad, so to speak, that we may want to see over in the United States League. Like,
I wonder if that's like the end point of the NBA Cup. Like if that's when like the NBA
so
Cup
you can
champ
integrate
plays the Euro
That
League.
would be fun.
Oh, that'd be yeah.
That would be fun. I would enjoy that.
Yeah, hope for that.
Another thing that he touched on was the ownership and the passing of the owner. Well, two things as far as ownership goes. One, the Celtics getting bought, and how that kind of correlates with Minnesota. Because in essence, he's saying they're not making any moves with the expansion one of the NBA until the Boston Celtics deal was done, because of the fact that they're going to gauge that on how new teams should come in as far as ownership goes,
how much money they
splitting the
spend.
money, splitting the pot, and if they're going to do it, they don't want to just right. They don't, when they do it, they don't want to really just do one team. They're talking about maybe even just doing two teams, just to kind of.
They will always do two.
Seattle and Las Vegas is at the front. But also with the other sale, as far as Minnesota, apparently he's still in contact with A-Rod and his partner.
Sale,
it has been, and it's just
they finally ruled on that though.
Yeah, they ruled in favor of Alex Rodriguez and his.
And so he's still in touch with going through the process and figuring those kind of things out.
Well, like the valuation, like not valuation, but like the amount that they're selling for is getting so big that like all these guys are basically having to buy teams on layaway, essentially, where like you have installment payments, and it like, you know, it takes so long for the sales to get finalized because you can't just drop $6 billion at one time.
You could,
unless you're Steve Ballmer, essentially,
richest owner in the league by a long shot.
He also touched on, like, it was an informative presser because he also touched on tanking. So the league has implemented several things to try to dissuade tanking. Though he's not saying that tanking is a issue, or is no longer an issue. Building through the draft is the purest form of building your team, in essence, to him. Like, the best way for you to build your team, and one of the most normal ways to do it, or is to just do it through the draft. Way is to do it. Yeah. It's just one of those things where, so they implemented the change in the draft lottery odds. They implemented the play-in tournament. They implemented the player participation policy. They implemented the 65-game rule.
Which next week, that's what I want to talk about, because there are a lot of people who are going to miss out on awards this year. Like the team of guys who are going to miss because of that 65 game. Because on top of that, too, it's not even just 65 games. It's you have to play at least 20 minutes in the 63 of the game. Like
So it's still stipulations on stipulations.
It's not just the games. You have to hit a certain minute load within that too, which is why certain guys ain't gonna be eligible for awards, even though they play over 65 games, so they didn't have the minutes to go with it. It's really interesting the way that it actually shook out, but that's not here or there at the moment.
I wish I had a tweet right now, but like we just reached a point. I think it was like 6,000 missed games for injury, illness. I don't know if suspension is involved in it, but essentially the only time we've ever gone over that is 2021, which was like the COVID, like the post-COVID season when everybody was kind of like
not in the best shape.
Well, no, it was like that year when like
the COVID outs.
Sorry, it was the post-bubble year where everybody was back in arenas and you just got, if you test positive, you out for however many games. They had to sign like all them dudes
out for the protocols. Yes.
So like I'm not gonna say it's not working, but it's like I would assume like it's not working the way that they intended because guys are still missing games, but maybe it's not the guys that they no, because it's the guys that are at the top. Yeah. So no, sorry.
No, you good. And then the last thing was just talking about the regional sports networks. So
he saying, are we finally gonna be free?
What he's saying in essence is,
I can tell by your tone.
I know it's more so like there's opportunity there to be had with the regional sports networks. An example that he uses: major streaming networks didn't give a shit about live sports just a year ago. Now they're banging down the door, putting in the highest bids to grab the live sports now. So he said on a national level and on a worldwide level, there's interest. He don't understand why there wouldn't be on the regional and the local level. So there are going to be opportunity.
Because there aren't regional, like Amazon's global. Whatever.
Didn't we also talk about the All-Star game being a flop? Which, yes,
he was on my butt.
I mean, it was an experiment. It was more so like, hey, listen, we're going to keep trying things. Look, y'all said that y'all wanted this, we tried this. Y'all said we going to try to make it more entertaining, we tried this. I did not get it, like the draft, the whole night. In the first year of the draft, the concept, a lot of people love the idea. Like, oh yeah, let the players go ahead and do the gist. So Giannis and Giannis said, correct, but then the players get complacent.
The issue is the issue always comes down to the players don't want to play. Like you can do he's going to keep trying things because that's a big money maker for the league wholesale. But if the players don't want to play, like, it's never going to be good.
And that's just what it is. Which, ironically enough, just to bring it back to a conversation we had earlier about the Milwaukee Bucks, some of the issues we've been seeing from this Bucks team are issues we've seen under 3 head coaches now. So, is it the coach? But I just want to leave it out. Just let that float. Let that float out there for y'all to think about. When you keep seeing the same issues with different coaches, keeping the same issues with different All-Star games, maybe the players need a little bit more fault along the way about what's happening there. But all right.
So you mentioned tanking, where it's like that's another thing that's never really going to change because the league's incentive structure is always going to be tilted towards if you don't have a pathway to be in a contender, your best bet is to be bad enough to go grab a guy that's going to make you a contender. And outside of being the Lakers or the Knicks, maybe the Warriors in Miami, your best bet is to go through the draft. So,
and Miami been having a hard time with free agency as of late the last couple of years.
Well, that's Pat Riley's fault.
Well, he is Heat culture, ain't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but if Heat culture wasn't so draconian and it was you get to
words, man.
Okay, if Heat culture wasn't so like militant, and you just had to sell
TIP out here.
You had to sell
dictionary and thesaurus.
What you had to sell was living in Florida where there's no state tax, living on South Beach, all the women opportunities in
California.
In Miami, like they would get every free agent, but like because it comes with you have to have only so much value fat, and you have to sacrifice for the team.
You got to lockdown.
Like people have equated it to jail essentially, like the way that the Heat organization treats you. So, which also means like if they were more lax, like they would have so many more people like that they're paying, and then they just out in the streets having fun in Miami. So like I get it.
That's probably why they have to. That's probably why he feels he has to run it that way.
Because he know the city. He's like, this city gonna get you, swallow you up, get you.
But again, like they would get more great players if
they were more lax, and they come to Miami, all go to shit.
Sketch 22.
Hey, that is what it is. So real quick on the NFL tip, the owners meetings have been going on. We've been hearing about some rule changes coming about. The tush push conversation has been pushed, no pun intended, to May. So they're going to table those discussions. We did get some news about like the kickoff rules being adjusted a bit, the overtime rules being just a little bit, where both teams will now have possession regardless if the first team scored a touchdown or not. It's more similar to the playoff format of overtime. And also, looks like they're going to use some technology in a new way in the NFL that's not new to some other sports.
Yeah, so the NFL has officially approved digital chain gangs for measuring first downs. So it's called Hawkeye. It's already been in use in pro tennis and cricket, but essentially they're going to use, I believe, 6 Sony 8K cameras,
high res,
like to be able to measure, like, okay, if the ball spotted here, here's where you need to get to for the first down. They'll still have the actual chain gang on the field as a backup, essentially, but the first level of measuring first downs is going to be,
and that would come
cameras
with review, or that's just gonna be automatic.
It's automatic.
Automatic.
But that doesn't change the fact that referees are still the ones that spot the ball.
That's why I'm like, don't take the game out the hands of the refs. Still, like if you want to use that as a, hey, I'm challenging the spot of the ball, cool. But to make that an automatic thing, no, leave it as is.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like the referees still spot the ball. So like wherever they determine is where you got to is where you get to. But if it's like where they spot it and then you like where they would kind of run out with the chain gang, they don't have to do that anymore. Wherever they spot it, they determine like where the line is already from the cameras, and it's like, oh, you got there. So
like like when
The
the
line that
Packers,
we see.
like when the Packers play the Bears this year, right? And then Josh Jacobs break off like
Sure.
a 27-yard run. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And then
And fumble.
no fumble. And then the ref come and he spot the ball where he spotted. You ain't gonna see. I mean, you're gonna see the chain gangs on the sideline because they're there as like a backup.
Mhm. Right.
But the way they're gonna spot it, like 1st and 10 from here, is just gonna be with the cameras in the sky.
Like we see on TV.
So initially, speed the game up a little bit.
That's the hope. But they also gonna be having a lot of replays for some other stuff, so they're gonna slow it down in other ways
Yeah.
to speed it up in others. It feels like. Are you on board with the?
Yeah, technology. Yeah, we got to get with the times, and I don't feel like technology only makes things better for me. So
Until it crash.
yeah, that's why we still got the people. out
Exactly. That's why you got the backup. That's
Just
why
in
you
case
got
it
the
don't work.
backup.
Like, oh, we got to reboot. All
We
right,
Did you control alt delete? Did you turn it off and turn it back on?
that'd be IT first thing. Turn it off, turn it back on. Do you think I didn't do that already?
Exactly. That's the
I
6
think-
times before I called you.
They probably got into the habit of doing that because boomers didn't do that.
There's a
first.
lot of people that did.
I think that's part of why they asked the question, because they had to deal with a bunch of boomers that like, what you mean?
Well, I ain't a
turn it off?
boomer, so
I hear you. It's just part of the culture. It's part of the culture.
I did read up on some of the stuff. So they've tested it in the UFL, and they
UFL always testing stuff.
and they also did it like in the background of NFL games in the last season. So where they were still doing
a soft launch.
yeah, basically, and they figured out that it worked. So
Cool.
Hey,
Let's get it.
let's see how it look. We gonna find out come preseason what it's looking like.
it will be interesting to see like how they're able to relay that information on the ground. So like obviously if you're a player, like you just look to where the
Marker
first down marker is, and it's like that's where I gotta get to.
Mhm.
Where it's like, I mean, I guess they're still there, so maybe they just go to the spot that the cameras
Camera
tell them
tells
to
them.
go
Yeah,
to.
most
But
likely.
That's what I would guess.
Move your feet a couple steps to the left. Computer said you off, bro. Computer said you off, my boy. You move. Like this is gonna be those conversations. It's gonna be funny.
that just made me think about like the LED courts, like that did not take off.
Not yet.
It's too much.
They're still using them in different capacities, but I feel like they're going to be more common.
I just feel like they had it All-Star Weekend last year, and then this year I did not see it.
It was a little because they overdid it. Like, go ahead, use the LED stuff, yes, but just tone it down a little bit.
It was very much
It was a little,
overstimulated.
it was too much happening at one time. Especially, almost threw myself under the bus.
Jesus.
Let me just stop talking and switch the subject to wrestling here.
Wrestling.
So the WrestleMania 41 card is starting to come together.
Mhm.
Right now, there are 6 confirmed matches on the card. Last year's 2-day WrestleMania had about 14, meaning we're about 8 matches away from having a fully locked-in card.
Mhm.
I'm going to tell y'all what's confirmed so far. My question to y'all is, what other matches do we want to see added to the card? So pretty much look like us fantasy booking the rest of WrestleMania 41, which already is
Stacked.
setting up to be one of those ones. I've been texting friends like, make sure y'all take off on Monday. Like, it's about to be one of them weekends. So far on the card, we have the triple threat match, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, which is the day 1 main event.
Mhm.
We have the undisputed WWE Championship match between Cody Rhodes and John Cena, which is the day 2 main event.
Mhm.
We then have the WWE Women's Championship match, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair.
Mhm.
The World Heavyweight Championship match with Gunther versus Jey Uso. The Women World Championship match, triple threat, as
You put an
It's
asterisk there.
gonna happen.
it's
gonna
kind
happen.
of unofficial but official. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca
I have a note
Belair.
about that when we get to the
Mhm.
discussion.
And then also Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. So like those are the 6 matches.
And AJ Styles and Logan Paul.
Oh yeah, that was confirmed.
Last
Yes, sir.
night.
So 7 matches confirmed, 7 to go. What else do y'all want to see on the card?
We need tag team matches.
Do we?
Yep.
Yes.
especially SmackDown in particular. Raw tag team division ain't really been.
It looks like we're
the New
leading
Day
to.
back.
It seems like it's New Day and War Raiders because they kind of teased that yesterday.
Yeah, it doesn't move.
I want to see it.
None of the the tag thing is still not hitting for me.
The SmackDown one's hitting for me personally.
I care about
that's
the
me.
profits and the rest of them.
For sure.
I can take or leave.
I'm
I know you love
Pretty
Pretty Deadly.
Yes,
so.
boy. And DIY and they can wrestle. They were more entertaining when they had the belts.
I just want to say, find you somebody that loves you the way Triple H loves small white men from NXT, because he brought back Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne and
Well, Bate was hurt.
I know, but he brought them back in like a kind of a prominent way. And it's just like, oh, I didn't realize that they were kind of missing.
Ain't some of them from one of them?
They're from the UK, and I feel like they still got like a very muted response when they came out. Like it wasn't the crazy pop that I imagined they were anticipating.
I think one match that has to be added, which has been teased a lot, is the Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna.
I think that's gonna be on the card.
Yeah, that's good. That'd be a good
we need a U.S. title match. We need an Intercontinental Championship match.
So
Braun.
No, Braun Breaker gonna be in a triple threat with Finn and Penta.
I'm hearing Fatal 4-Way with Dom too.
Ooh.
I like that.
Okay, we can
and
take,
whatever
we'll take that one.
Turn they're gonna do with the Judgment Day probably happens.
So you got Liv and Raquel.
Who
Do
they
they
fight?
do they drop the belts before the Mania?
They might wrestle on the SmackDown before the WrestleMania.
Yeah,
they might wrestle on SmackDown before.
Right, that's what I'm like. Shit, they dropping belts on shows right now. Shit, they could.
If I'm making my dream card, unless we need some filler, well, I'm thinking my top match. That's not on there yet.
I just feel like Liv got to be on for the year that she had.
No,
but
that's fair.
She doesn't have. They don't. I mean, I guess maybe like Bailey and whoever the IC champion. Thank you.
Yeah. Chelsea, I need Chelsea Green to have a. If we talking just champions,
has to have a match. She's Intercontinental, right?
U.S. Come on, with the Secret Service.
Yeah. The Secret Service is crazy.
Shaolin said we need Jade and Naomi.
Yeah,
that's now we talking.
Hey,
now
Naomi's stepping it up too.
Yeah. He also said we're talking about that topic. We all are here. We are all here. Let's see how time go this week, but we all are here to talk about that list. But I think Jade and Naomi definitely need to be on the card.
Give me that. I need to see Jacob. I don't know who.
Jacob and Solo. That seems to be what they're building towards.
Yeah,
but I wonder if they kind of fold that into the U.S. title thing too.
Oh,
that would make sense.
Probably because that's gonna have to be a multi-man match. So it's gonna be LA Knight, Jacob, Solo. I feel like Braun Strowman is still in that.
Probably Braun. There's gonna be a lot of triple
threats.
Yeah,
they might have. You know, they always have a battle royal joint too. Maybe they'll make one.
They haven't had
one
in a couple of years.
Because we've been seeing Braun and Jacob, but I love seeing them fight. But we didn't see it so much. It really wouldn't hit as much at WrestleMania.
Because it ain't nothing new.
Yeah, because it ain't nothing new. We got to see Solo. We got to see Jacob. We already said Damian.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else. Who would Braun fight?
Which Braun?
Shinsuke?
Braun Breaker, Braun Strowman.
Oh, Breaker, my bad.
No, we said the triple fatal 4-way.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of the top people.
So do y'all think every champion is going to
No, because I don't think the women mid-carders are probably gonna, like Chelsea might, but I don't think
Chelsea would get there over Lyra. I think.
Yeah, I think Lyra's going to be in that tag match, but I don't think she's going to defend her title.
Yeah,
I feel like they all should have the title.
Every champ,
especially at Mania.
But that's not always been the case. So.
I know. I've always felt that way. Like if it's one of the big four, like I feel like at least. Like they haven't had all the champs at all of them. I get that, but at Mania, you're designating 2 nights for it. All your champs should be fighting.
And Mania is normally like a reset time too. Of like if this title reign ain't been working, like we gonna really change it up for the next course of the year until next year's WrestleMania. So I could see that too.
Roman went through 3 Manias with that thing.
That's what.
And I loved everyone.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was 3.
Well, he won it at SummerSlam. Then he did the triple threat with Bryan and Edge. I guess that was 38. No, because then he fought Lesnar, so he did 4.
4 because he fought Cody twice.
Yeah, he fought Cody twice. He did Lesnar, and then he had Bryan.
Jeez, what a title reign! I'm gonna put that one up for that. That's.
I just realized my finger can't blend in with the background.
No, that's impressive. But like as the card comes together, it'd be curious to see who else gets added onto it and whatnot. Because there's still some names, as we have mentioned, that ain't been named yet, and there's some space. So hopefully they can, pull out a nice card here. Let me ask y'all. Well, this is more so a question that Ken had, but I think it's a very good one in the context of wrestling, especially when there's multiple promotions and you're trying to find ways to rate what you're seeing.
Oh, my bad.
That's called
yeah, I know. No, my bad. I was reading. My bad.
I threw it up.
But no, okay. So, what are, in your opinion, what is the definition of a 5-star match? In your opinion, and what needs to happen in that match that makes it a 5-star match?
So, clarification:
mm-hmm.
Is it what we personally would rate as a 5, but not like
not Dave Meltzer?
Yeah, no, not him. Just like when you're watching a match, you get done, you be like, "Yo,
that was a great match."
Yeah, I think that was a great match. I'll give that 5 stars.
I would probably go back to one of my favorite matches of all time, which is Brock versus Kurt Angle.
Ooh, that is, yes, sir.
And what made that a great match to you?
One, there were stakes. They had the belt on the line.
Mm-hmm. Stakes matter.
Two, there was a lot of drama.
The
storyline mattered because coming into it, even though Brock was a beast, especially Prime Brock, was like, dude was ridiculous. So was Kurt Angle.
Suplexes.
And up to that point, it was like Kurt Angle was one of the few that wasn't afraid of Brock Lesnar. So that's still part of like the story, the aura kind of thing.
Yeah.
The actual match itself was from start to finish just drama, hard hitting.
So storytelling in the match.
Yeah. Even with some of the, like, it doesn't have to be high flying and shit like that, but even there was bigger spots too, like the moonsault off the turnbuckle. Shooting star press. I'm sorry. The moonsault. Or just like the reversals of the ankle locks and shit like that, like him screaming in the middle of the ring with like holding on to Brock's leg and shit like that. Like certain moments, certain looks, or if you go back to any of the Rock Austin matches, like the aura of the match, the aura damn near felt bigger than the match sometimes.
Shout out to that match you got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Between
I'm sorry. We're inducting matches.
That's what I said. I was like, hey, I didn't know this was a thing.
Before China gets in the Hall of Fame, I'm about to start a campaign of why China's not in the Hall of Fame.
She's technically in through DX.
Stop it.
She should.
That's what they said.
Nah,
she definitely should be in.
She called WWE Hall of Fame with China.
She needs to be inducted by herself. Y'all putting matches in before y'all put China in.
Apparently, that was a great match. They did in UFC though.
It was a great match, but still.
That was a great match.
UFC has matches in their Hall of Fame, so they're just kind of copying that.
Okay, TKO.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, you're right.
But to your point, the aura around it and everything like that.
Like, I think to distill down what you're saying, like I think everything kind of has to hit. Like it has to hit on every level. Like it can't be. It's so strong on the in ring, so therefore, like the storyline doesn't really matter. Like no, all of that kind of has to. Like it's subjective, but like I think all of that stuff has to come together and culminate. Like a 5-star should be the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme. Like if you just start throwing out 5 stars because it's like, oh, they did a bunch of high flying moves, so therefore it's like no, it takes away. Like it should be special, so it should have to hit every aspect of, including like it has to have stars. Like to me, like you can't have a 5-star match with like 2 dudes that you don't know, essentially. Or to me, at least.
Like Tyler Bate and Chad Gable go 1-on-1 and put on a 5-star match. You'd be like, damn, that was a good ass match, but
they won 5 stars because like why do I care about them? You know,
it's a great wrestling match.
I think all that is in it, and the match itself has to tell a story. Like from beginning to end, what are you communicating to me? Because I'm trying to think of what's one of the last 5-star matches that I've seen, in my opinion, and the one that comes to mind for me is Punk and Drew McIntyre in the Hell in a Cell match. I was like, this is 5 stars. Like this is like,
that was 5 stars.
And it wasn't because of the gore in it. Like it wasn't because like the blood did help tell a story, and some of the blood was accidental. But it added to that story that they had. I think I don't consider Rock Hogan a 5-star match.
I don't either.
But it's one of the like most iconic matches of all time, and I think that's another aspect of it, which is the crowd. I think the
Crowd
crowd
definitely
plays a
makes
part
a huge
into the match itself because it all works together. So pretty much most of what Tim said, I definitely agree with. And then I would add in just kind of like the crowd, the environment, because that always makes a moment feel bigger. But yeah, and also they got to be good wrestlers. Like, the wrestling in the ring has to be good. It doesn't have to be technical, but it has to be good. And there's many different ways you can get to good wrestling in the match, but at the basis of it, the wrestling has to be good. The story they tell in the ring has to be good. The environment needs to be electric around it, and it needs to feel like a moment. Like, it has to feel like a moment.
And the reason why I brought this up is that because Cena and like Cody, like promos have really been cooking, and it made me start thinking, is like, this shit is amazing. Like, I don't want to go into WrestleMania expecting too much, like expecting like a 5-star, but like how they're building it up.
You'll
like
be disappointed if it ain't.
I will be disappointed if that makes sense. Like, I would be very disappointed if it's not a 5-star match. And I feel like they can definitely put on a great match. When Cody won the title, what made that match so great was all the shenanigans, like to the end.
True.
For him to win that. Not necessarily saying him and Roman put on like the most amazing match that I've ever seen, but it was just like everything, the storytelling. He finally ended the story. He finally got his title. It took all the greats, fucking Undertaker, and all the greats came in, Seth and stuff like that to make it a 5-star match. Like, some of the 5-star matches that I think of is like one that pops in. I know we don't talk about Chris Benoit like that, but Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit. Like, that was like a 5-star match. Kenny Omega put on a lot of 5-star matches, but that's what made me think about it.
Do you think that better wrestlers tend to have just more 5-star matches just on the strength of the fact that when they get in the ring, they can go? Like, when you think of a Kenny Omega or like a Shawn Michaels.
Makes like a Seth Rollins, like a Shawn Michaels, Kenny Omega, they make their opponent better.
Right.
So it makes like it of course, like, that's why I feel like we're going to see the best Cody Rhodes that we have ever seen because he's in the ring with the GOAT. This had nothing to me with being Kobe. I'll say Kobe.
Cody
Crybaby, nothing like that. But you can see it now. Like, he's bringing. Hey, chill out, man. But he's bringing. But he's bringing the best out of him now. So it's like a GOAT versus GOAT. Like, let's get it.
Cooking them.
Okay, just because you get cooked, eat a fucking GOAT.
Hey, Cody punched back.
Like, I hate that.
Now, Cena
this is the first week that he actually talked, though.
Cena punched a little harder, but Cody punched back. And Cody ended it with, I ain't never had nobody chant, "You can't wrestle at me," was just like a, hey. And there you go, buddy. This
is the last Cena appearance before.
Yes.
I hope so.
That we know of.
Because it ended, because I don't want to see too much of it, Now it's like, the only time I want to see y'all is when y'all beating the shit out of each other.
I do wonder if we're going to get like the surprise Cena appearance like we got when Rock beat the shit out of Cody last year. Because remember, Rock wasn't, like, when he beat him in the Blood and Rain. Like, Rock, that was a surprise Rock appearance. He wasn't supposed to be, he wasn't supposed to be there that week.
Yeah. Shaolin added, I need energy and effort for the entire match. And then he also added, when we were talking about the Hall of Fame, he just said William Regal isn't even in. Which
he's not.
That's kind of his fault.
Yeah, well, shit.
Why you say it's his fault?
Because his career wasn't what it was supposed to be, because he kept getting in trouble with like drugs and stuff. So like he didn't have like the sustained run of like
during his time. What?
No, I was thinking of Piper when they said Regal.
That's
what I was like. Wait, I was like, okay.
Like, how? No, Piper is definitely in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, wait, Regal not there? I was like, oh, that was Piper.
No, he is definitely in there. But I think that's a good question.
We can table mine.
Okay. How much time we got? What time is it? We got about 10 minutes left.
1:13.
Let me ask y'all this, because I know Shaolin been waiting on this for sure. The BET list of the greatest Black wrestlers of all time. We mentioned that we would come back to it. Even Jim Cornette's in here talking about this list. Part of the conversation, the surprise came in the fact that Booker T was listed number 1 over somebody like The Rock. And even when we said it initially, Sam, Tim's wife, my bestie, was in the background hearing us talking. She goes like, The Rock number 1. No, like, it's not a debate. Like, it's easily The Rock. Even though his run was short, it was just that his run was so bright during his time.
Yeah, for sure.
Who do y'all think should be number one on that list?
Can I go first?
Yes.
I think Booker T would be number one. And the reason why is I understand like the Rock, a presence of the Rock. The Rock being like what he did to wrestling, who he still is today. But like we can't discredit like everything that Booker T has done. WWE, WCW, TNA.
Yeah.
Like Booker T has been a champion in every single promotion that he's been in. And he had long tenures or long reigns in those promotions too. So like I understand like Rock, you hear Rock, but like longevity, what Booker T has done, has been a champion in all these different promotions and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with Booker T being number one. I can see Rock can definitely be number one, Booker T number two, but I don't want people to just shit on what Booker T has done just because The Rock is there at number two. Like, yeah, like no slight or no disrespect to The Rock at all.
Who's your greatest NBA player of all time?
Mine?
Yeah.
It's Kobe. For
Kobe,
him.
Yeah, Kobe Mack Johnson.
Okay. LeBron versus Jordan. Who do you have?
LeBron versus Jordan?
Yes.
LeBron.
Okay, well, you're consistent. Because I was going to say, like, you can't go, like, longevity versus...
And that's strictly longevity.
Versus who shown brightest versus who shown
no disrespect.
The longest, you know what I mean? Like, that's really what it kind of comes down to. Because, like...
Let's look at it this way. Because one thing, if you look at the actual list that BET put together, they included the accolades and titles won. A BET list. Okay. Yes. Black Entertainment Television.
I forgot there was a BET list. Okay.
So for The Rock, here's the thing too. They still have him considered as an active wrestler, which
more active than Booker T is.
Not really.
Booker T's in NXT commentating.
Yeah. I mean, wrestling
and training.
Booker T still be putting on matches. It's just not.
Yeah, he's just not out on
WWE matches because he has his own training. Yeah. But Booker T, The Rock, titles won: WCW World Champ twice, WWE Champ 8 times, WWF Intercontinental Champion twice, WWE Tag Team Champion 5 times, 1-time Royal Rumble winner, 6 men's Triple Crown winner, and he's a future Hall of Famer, as we all know.
Of course.
Booker T, TNA World Tag Team Champion 1 time, WCW World Heavyweight Champion 5 times, WCW World Tag Team Champion 10 times, WCW World TV Champ 6 times, WWF World Heavyweight Champion 1 time, WWE World Heavyweight Champion 1 time. So WWE, WWF, 2 different things technically. Yeah. WWE United States Champion 1 time, Intercontinental Champion 1 time, Hardcore Champ twice, WWE Tag Team Champ 3 times, King of the Ring. He's a Grand Slam champion himself. He's a Triple Crown winner himself, and he's a 2-time Hall of Famer inducted as a tag team duo with his brother Stevie Ray for what he did with Harlem Heat, in addition to him being inducted as a singles competitor. Yeah. Again, Booker T has the resume to be considered.
He does.
The best black wrestler of all time, and his years active were from 89 to 2012.
That's a long 89. That's a long ass time, fam.
Like, I'd have no qualms with Booker T being first on the list.
And ain't no disrespect to Rock.
At all. Because the fact that Rock is second, they say he's quote unquote active, but like The Rock really was active from what was it, like when he debuted, 94? 95, somewhere in there.
95, I believe.
Until like 03, 04, and he kind of came back for some one-off matches every so often. So, I mean, again, what he did in his time.
Yeah, his impact.
He got a show.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, The Rock is The Rock. Shaolin added that I would put the New Day on the list as a whole group and make room for Truth.
No, I'm straight.
Ooh, no, really? Because I think R-Truth should be on the list.
Why say R-Truth? Well,
because he's not on that list of 15. So if you're trying to consolidate, they do have Kofi and Big E listed separately.
Let's put them together. Okay, that makes sense. I got you.
I think and then that would also include Kofi though. Like,
think so?
Because he had a whole, like even before New Day, like he had a whole career before that.
The one where he lost his accent.
Yeah, but like I don't think I think that Jamaican Kofi Kingston was better than Shelton Benjamin, and Shelton Benjamin's on the list. So it's like
that's fair. And they got Kofi at 3. Shelton Benjamin, I think, is like 14.
14, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, and Big E's 11. So in case you didn't hear the list as a whole, it goes Booker T at 1, The Rock at 2, Kofi Kingston at 3, Mark Henry at 4, which I love Mark Henry being top 5. Sasha Banks / Mercedes Moné at 5. Junkyard Dog at 6. Ron Simmons, a.k.a. Farouk, at 7.
Damn.
Bobby Lashley at 8. Bianca Belair at 9. Devon Dudley at 10. Big E at 11. Jacqueline at 12. Naomi at 13. Shelton Benjamin at 14. And Jazz at 15. R-Truth was the name that came to me when I was like, he needs to be on here.
Yeah, R-Truth, yeah.
But all in all,
people bring up like some of the guys from the 70s where it was like Ernie Ladd and it's like Big Cat something.
Even people were bringing up Rock's dad, like Rocky Johnson.
Tony
Atlas, yeah. Like there's a lot of black wrestlers who were important in the course of just getting more black people into wrestling, so on and so forth. So like whenever you put a list together, it's going to be controversial. It's always
you're always going to leave someone off.
That was the whole, like when we started this podcast, like we used to do the Tech Top 5 every single week. And some of the times I've gotten the maddest on this show came from us doing those lists. I wanted to choke some of these niggas on this couch and round me out. When we talked about the greatest wide receivers and niggas wasn't putting respect on Jerry Rice's name. I'm not going to say who.
I wonder who that was.
But there was some Jerry Rice disrespect that I didn't take kindly to. Or even when Tim said the Airbuds, the greatest fictional athlete.
That was funny.
That motherfucker
Airbud. Hey, Airbuds get buckets though, man.
Football, basketball, baseball. His kids was cold as him and shit.
I had puppies that was cold. Crazy, man.
He was LeBron before LeBron, fam.
Oh,
showed him the way. In the league.
Bud walks so Brown can run. You know what I'm saying?
Bud walks so Brown can run. There's
the title.
No, I'm not going.
No. Get these lubricated knees on this motherfucker.
Lubricated.
We're gonna get ready to get up out of here. One last thing, I just want to say we don't generally cover baseball, but the Brewers got 20 runs put up on them in one game.
Yeah, they got their boots smoked.
I know the Yankees got them bats, but golly, and
the Royals did it to them too.
That's what I was going to say. The Royals put some points up on it too, but I just wanted to ask y'all, especially Ken and Tim, as more baseball guys, but how do y'all feel about the Yankees pioneering new bats?
Hey man, it's working. It does make sense. And like they've been hitting, fam.
Yes,
like,
they already got hitters. Now they just made the bats even better for them to hit with.
So like now the ball just jumps off the bat like crazy now. So what it does is basically makes you not over. You know how they basically you sit on pitches more with these bats. So basically, you just get better contact and more power.
That's because you're not necessarily jamming.
Yeah.
In those situations, you have more meat closer towards the. Like you have the barrel of the bat, but then it's like
more meat.
You slide a little meat down. Right, so it's like it's closer to the hands.
They're gonna title more meat.
No, we're not sliding no meat now.
So the part of the bat where they
where the wood, okay.
What? No, the part of the bat where they're hitting it more common is now more as though like a sweet. They changed the sweet spot up a little bit.
Yeah,
he was hitting it different.
He was. I mean, and that's part of why they did it. They said
like, did y'all watch the highlights to like any of those games?
Why?
Like,
why?
No.
Why?
Like, it was like batting practice.
They put up 20 runs, my nigga. Go see the same swing 20 times. Bro, I don't give a shit.
It was like batting practice, bro. They was just out there just
6 home runs straight.
Oh, you kept seeing the pitchers just do this when they turn around and just look.
Come on, fam.
In a row,
and 3 in a row at least. What was it?
6.
The pitchers better start cheating. What they put the stuff on the balls?
And they're going to do something to combat them bats.
Yeah, they gonna start
balls and meats.
Motherfucking by the end of the weekend, Aaron Judge didn't even play in all 3 games. Had 4 home runs.
Yeah, bro.
In 2 games. 4. Yeah, that's nuts, bro.
He already with
He's
a regular
already Aaron
bat.
Judge.
With a regular bat, this guy's doing.
You know what's crazy that I just thought about? We've been podcasting as long as Aaron Judge has been in the league.
Yeah.
I remember when he first started, y'all kept saying, y'all got to watch Aaron Judge. And I was like, I don't like baseball. And y'all was like, what? We had an episode that was called like,
All Hell Judge, All Rise.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, so yeah.
It made me think like, dang.
He been hitting.
Yeah.
Was that when you made one of your poems?
No, he made the poem.
I know it was Usain Bolt.
But like, which episode was it?
All Rise was a good one though, because we went crazy on that one. I can't remember why, but that was a good one too.
There are certain
For the love of Alonzo, I remember that.
Or just which past show
What was the
titles?
butt naked one? Where was the? We talking about Kentucky Derby?
Oh yeah, but me and you got the horses.
Yeah,
neck and neck.
Yeah.
Neck and
Give
neck.
it to me, butt naked.
Give it to me,
butt naked. I still got that saved somewhere.
I
on my
do
phone.
too. And some of them, like I was like, I gotta save these. These are funny.
Yeah, man, 8 years though. We OGs
8 years,
in the game,
man. Shaolin said, but the Yankees got everybody. Most of those guys can go on to make the team and be the second or third best option on the team. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, don't think
So no salary cap will do
They
for
got the
you.
money, yeah. When you got the money, so you can do what you want to do.
Also, I want to end this here because of how the bat conversation turned here. Sport conversations, a lot of the terminology
Nah, we'll fuck you up.
is innately sexual.
Oh yeah, it is.
That's why I be seeing them TikToks where it's like the women who be like, "Oh, this better."
He really
romance,
jammed
but-
it in there.
Like it's
Soft
just,
in the middle.
Oh.
Listening to sports commentary,
penetration
like
on
a
the
audio
beat.
smut book. Like they be wild. It's long and thick, guys. Like I was like, bro, what the fuck?
He's got some glutes on him.
You got some glutes
Get this
on.
power from there.
took it right inside.
I was surprised by his stunning.
Banging in the hole.
Yeah, they wild.
All right, and on that
That's
note,
some great D.
Oh shit.
yeah, yelling out "good D." It's and I be playing. Sometimes my teammates on 2K. Sometimes they'll say something, but a lot of times they just we get it. We playing the game. Good D.
Thank you.
I gotta say defense all the time. Good defense. But no, that's the show this week, y'all. We hope y'all enjoyed. As a reminder, if you are not yet already following us on our various social media platforms, what are you waiting for? Head over to Technical File at TECKNICALFOUL on Twitter, Instagram, right? Instagram, TikTok. Those who know.
Yeah.
Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and God, he got it smacked, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I saw the fro just hit the ground. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky at Technical File Podcast on Facebook and YouTube. And if you want to follow me personally, you can catch me.
Wait a minute.
On Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky and these PSN Streets at Camille Monet, CAMILLEMONAE.
At the Eric J2 on Blue Sky, I think.
That's all you get.
Yep.
Everyday underscore. Wait, yeah. Everyday underscore gentleman.
He don't even know.
K Harris 216.
How am I supposed to know?
Yeah, y'all know. I don't know.
I truly
My brain
don't
just
know.
gone. K Harris 216, Twitter, Snapchat, Blue Sky, all that shit.
So the only one that you everyday underscore gentleman is Instagram.
Yep.
There you go.
For sure. And it's your boy, TIMKINZ, the number 3, aka Ass Catch him, aka Mr. Give It To Me.
Butt naked.
But don't give me a horoscope.
Ah,
That's what you want.
Hey, yep.
y'all have a good one, bro.
Tech File. Yeah, let's just play that music.
Hit him hard, let's go. That TECK, running back like where's my replay? Got it all in the mix, no DJs. Said it's hard in the game like he did with Selenia. Spitting real talk with the entertainment. Other pods try to stand the game up, but they get smacked back down like a WrestleMania. Tell them that they better get their nose ready at a home city. You know, get it boss, keeping on the low setting. And you know we keep set, so we never gotta get tight than everybody else. They should get ready. Ain't nobody else doing this like I. Better keep them cameras and microphones hot, cause this one's a vibe. Gotta run this race with my tribe. Going live with the pie. Do it like it's no tomorrow. Came to my ear later. Shout out to my point guard. We about to hit them hard. Got them throwing in the tap. Tell the red blow the whistle. This is Technical File.
Tech File.